Hi, I'm Dr. John Izzo. Welcome to Izzo on Purpose, a weekly series of videos dedicated to helping you succeed in discovering and implementing your purpose in your company and in your life. Now, today I'd like to talk about a very interesting question. Does a company's purpose change or evolve over time? Now, there are many people who say that a company's purpose is static and enduring. Once you have a purpose, it never changes. But I beg to differ. And I'll go even further to say that if your company's purpose doesn't evolve and change, you could be in big trouble. Now, our values often don't change over time. And if you look at many of the most successful companies across multiple generations, you'll find they often have a set of values that have served them very well over time. But our purpose is the intersection between our values and what the world needs right now. So our purpose must always change and evolve. Let me give you two great examples. Facebook, I think you'll agree with me, is one of the most successful companies of our generation. And for many years, they had a very simple mission, a very simple purpose, to create a more open and connected world. And I think you'll agree with me, they were pretty successful at that. And in large part because of Facebook and a few others, you and I are connected right now at the touch of our fingers with hundreds, if not thousands of people all over the world. But that's why it's so interesting that recently Mark Zuckerberg announced that they were changing their mission statement, their purpose, their very reason to exist. And the reason they changed is because Zuckerberg said, you know, it's great that we've created a more open and connected world, but the world's got all kinds of real problems that we need to solve, global problems that are going to require us to come together in communities of purpose to solve those problems and talk about our differences. So the new purpose, the new mission of Facebook is to give people the power to build community and to come together to bring the world closer together to solve these problems. And I think what I love about that is it's a recognition that as good as their purpose was, it's not enough. The world has changed around them and is now demanding new things and a new purpose to excite Facebook and their customers and their employees. Now, Walmart is another great example. Walmart, love them or hate them, had a very simple purpose for most of their existence: to save people money so that they could live better lives. It's really that simple. They believed that if they brought low cost to communities and people who didn't have low cost, that people would be able to have more of the things they needed to have and the necessities of life to have a good life. And again, whether you love the company or don't like them, I've been in rural places and far-flung places all over the world who say, look, Walmart changed our lives and brought low prices to us. But here's the thing. The world has changed since Walmart began. People care about a lot more now than low prices. A full 40% of customers in the world care pretty deeply about whether the companies and products they buy from are sustainable and good for society and good for planet. And that's why a number of years ago now, quietly, Walmart began an intense effort to create one of the most sustainable companies in the world. Not only are they looking at saving energy and greening their own stores and footprint, but they have been going through their supply chain all over the world to make sure that the products that they bring to you and I in the stores are good for planet and good for society. Now, Walmart's been very quiet about this because they know they've got to be really good before they start to be open about this. But inside the company at Walmart, they talk about what I call the next generation Walmart customer, which is they know that the customer they're trying to win is different than the previous customer. They don't just care about low prices. They also want sustainable products, good for society and good for planet. Consequently, Walmart's very purpose is in the process of changing. Now, if you don't change your purpose, you can be in big trouble. Let me just give you one example. You may not even think of it as an example of purpose. Take BlackBerry, Research in Motion, the folks who, brought us the BlackBerry phones. And I believe that the purpose of BlackBerry was to create functional devices that would get the job done. I'm simplifying it, but the bottom line is they created great devices that helped us get our work done. But their products weren't exciting. They didn't thrill the senses. They weren't fun, but they did get the job done. And then along came Apple, who said, we want to get the job done, but Steve Jobs had a different vision. Let's create products that excite the senses, that change the world, that create a sense of optimism and excitement at new innovation. And consequently, the iPhone decimated the BlackBerry. And I believe even though we don't think of it as a purpose story, it really came from the fact that Apple had a purpose that was bigger than creating functional devices. They had a purpose to excite the senses, to create fun products that people would love to use. And the rest is history. Now, the bottom line is, you have to ask the question, is our company's purpose, is our mission as relevant as it needs to be? Has the world around us changed in such a way that our purpose and our mission must evolve? Remember, our values tend to be stable over time, but our mission and our purpose is the intersection of our values with what the world needs right now. So if our purpose isn't evolving, if our purpose isn't changing, we could be in big trouble. Now, thank you for tuning in today, and I want to encourage you to go to our website, drjohnizzo.com, and sign up for regular tips so that you can stay in touch with us. And I'd love you right here where you're watching this video to give us your comments. Tell us about companies that you think purpose and mission must change. Tell us about how your company is evolving its purpose and mission, and let us know if you agree or disagree, and tell us why. So again, thanks for being a part of our community. And remember, the purpose revolution is upon us. The only question is whether you and your company are ready for it. So thank you so much. Till the next time, thanks. This is Izzo on Purpose.